Yo, what's good? This is just going to be another week of documenting my trading. Once again, I am on a demo account, so if you don't care about that, leave. But yeah, hopefully I'll be moving to a live account soonish in the near future. If I keep getting like a couple green weeks, just start with a small account and then slowly move up as I'm getting more profitable, just to get the psychology part in mind. So this week the goal, once again, just to get another green week, and I have something more specific in mind though. I want to try and let my trades run a little bit longer. So last week I would consistently close my trades at a 1-to-1 and the trades would just go much further, so I could have caught a 1-to-2, etc. So this week I'm going to try and let my trades run a little bit longer, try and catch better risk to reward ratios, and generally just spot better trades, make sure that I'm only taking the best trades possible, and yeah, hopefully I'm in profit. So my first trade of the week was actually a loser. I saw this setup, I actually thought it was pretty nice to be honest. The 1 hour was fairly bearish and it was quite like consolidatory around here, but it just broke structure here and there was a nice demand zone and it was looking quite bullish on the 5 minute. So I was quite comfortable with taking this demand setup, even though I got in a bit late, and it did end up going up at first. And if maybe I got in a little bit earlier, I could have caught my 1-to-1, but it eventually just went down and hit my stop. So that was quite unfortunate. I feel as though I don't really have enough experience to be able to completely tell whether this was just my fault on a bad setup or whether it was just the market just doing its thing and it was just unlucky. However, I still quite like the setup. It was struggling to break lows and it was turning bullish on the 5 minute, but it still could have always been a better setup. Alright, so my second setup was a bit different. I actually took a 15-minute demand zone. Although I don't like to trade on 15-minute, this is just very clean and I noticed it and I thought I'd go for it. And it did end up getting to my 1-to-1, which was about here. Absolutely destroyed that. So I closed my first entry and left my second one running. I tried to target up here because there was quite a lot of liquidity. However, I ended up reversing and I ended up closing my second one at break even. So I was literally only up from my one lot, which was about 10 quid. So overall, I'm actually down a little bit for the day because I only had one lot hit, but I'm almost break even, so it could be a lot worse. And yeah, hopefully I can catch some better setups tomorrow. Yo, what's good? It's Tuesday. So today was pretty much just a copy and paste of yesterday. Literally like the exact same shit happened. At first I saw this setup that wasn't a setup because it never hit the supply zone. So this is just really unfortunate because this would have been beautiful. But yeah, this is the first trade I actually took. We're in an uptrend. 1 hour was very bearish, but we just broke structure here, so I would consider that we're now becoming an uptrend. So yeah, we basically just bounced off this demand zone. There's also the 50 SMA that it kind of perfectly bounced off, so I got in around here. It started going up, but it eventually just went down and went down and went down. Yeah, pretty much didn't respect it at all. And it looks like it filled in this 1 hour gap just right here. And now it's just bounced straight back up. Quite unfortunate. I think this is an okay trade to take. I don't think I was just being too retarded. I mean, dumb. But yeah, I'll improve the strategy anyway. See if this looks dumb to me in the year's time. See, this is the winning trade. GJ doesn't always treat me the best, but I took a nice supply setup here. This is just after it had been on a bullish run for ages. It finally started to turn bearish, so I was looking for supplies. It started creating a little resistance up here, as well as having the supply box, and it rejected it a couple times, which was honestly more confidence it would go down, and eventually did. Took a bit more than a 1-to-1, and by the looks of it, I took it at the right time because it's now going straight back up. I was going to wait for it to go a little bit lower, but I kind of pussied out, which looks like it was a good thing. So yeah, that was my win. There's also a setup on NAS going on, kind of. It's just rejected off this demand box, and it is very bullish right now. So to be honest, I'm expecting when New York Stock Exchange to open that this will just reverse completely because it seems to do that. But yeah, probably won't take another trade today. If I do, then I'll show it, but that's probably it for the day. Yo, it's now Wednesday. Today there wasn't many valid setups I could see, so I only took one trade. The few setups that I did see quickly became invalid, so luckily I didn't even take any of them. But I did take this one trade once again on AU. I don't know what's going on this week. Literally, I've taken an AU trade every day. Well, the last two were losers. This one was a winner. So it basically just bounced off the supply box. It was under the 50 SMA. We're already in a downtrend, so I was pretty confident taking this, to be honest, and I mean, it did win. It was a pretty quick scalp. I actually originally aimed for 1 to 2, which I easily could have got if I just held a little longer. Once again, me being a pussy, but what are you going to do about it? So yeah, I took my nearly 1 to 2, and yeah, so basically I recently found this tool that's basically just going to help me to use the correct lot sizes on my trades, so that I'm only risking 2% of my account each trade, which would be quite nice because recently I've just been either risking a little bit too much or not quite enough. So it's quite nice to have that like kind of calculator to be able to allow me to use the correct lot sizes on each trade. So whereas this likely would have been a low win trade, this ended up being like a 34 quid win or something around that, which is quite nice. But obviously I would have lost more than usual. But yeah, pretty happy with that. And yeah, it's just another quality of life improvement that I've made. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Alright, so my first trade of the day, quite unfortunate. I basically just got a bit too greedy. I was looking to fill these gaps up here. I could have easily taken my 1 to 1 on literally the first candle of getting in, but I was like, you know what, I'll hold this, I kind of trust it, but maybe I shouldn't have, because yeah, it's just not really in favor of buying right now. Yeah, realistically I probably should have just scalped my 1 to 1 and got out, but I still expect to be taking these losses and I'm learning from it. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you at the next trade and hopefully it'll be a winner. Alright, so after like 3 hours of just waiting and just setups becoming invalid, this GU setup finally came up. Once again, it was a quick scalp. I got an aggressive, took just over a 1 to 1. It's gonna hold it for longer, but probably good I didn't, to be fair. It didn't go for too long before just reversing upwards. But yeah, this basically just covered my losses. I also want to talk about this is so unfortunate because I 100% would have taken this trade earlier, but it just slightly missed the supply zone and then just absolutely shot down. That would have been the best trade of the day by far. But yeah, other than that, today there weren't really many setups. It was a pretty dry day, so I had to stick to my little GU setup that I got given, and I'm completely okay with that because GU always seems to treat me good. So honestly, that just made me more confident in this trade. GU is my boy. It would never treat me wrong, ever. But yeah, that's about it for today. Finished a tiny bit up, but pretty much just another break-even day as per usual, which I am cool with. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Alright, so it's now Friday, so it was a pretty average day. So I started off by somewhat taking this trade. Well, I did take the trade. It started reversing, and then it got to about here, and I was like, oh shit, this could still go back up. But we were massively bearish, which, you know, maybe I could have taken a sign as we're gonna go up soon. But I was like, you know, I'm not too confident in this, even though there was a break of structure, and it was honestly a pretty clean setup, and it even came back and retested the demand zone. But I got out at about break even, which is really unfortunate because it actually went on for ages. Could have left a runner on this, so that's quite sad. But the reason I stopped that trade at break even was because I saw this, which did win, so you know, that's okay. But the other one honestly was a much better trade, so I stopped this at 1 to 1, and it didn't go too much further, but it was not even nearly as good as the NAS trade. And then I was like, you know what, I'll see if there's any more setups for the day because it's still pretty early, which is where I kind of fucked up and took my second trade, which is this. So yeah, I took the trade here. It was actually close to hitting my 1 to 1, which I probably would have just got out at because I'm notoriously a pussy and get out at 1 to 1s. But before it reached it, it just went down and hit my stop. So yeah, that was quite unfortunate, but I'm going to make sure I stick to my trading plan and I don't overtrade, even though there is a part of me that just wants to go back in and try and get back up. But I'll talk about that in a second because I actually have something to relate that to. But yeah, here are my overall stats for the week. So overall for the week, I'm up once again, which is something that's actually been like kind of confusing me recently. Like I see that I'm having consistent, at least like break-even days, sometimes with a win, sometimes with a loss, and it's going just like weirdly well. I feel like I'm gonna open a live account soon, just to like, you know, get the psychology down on that front. And I feel like I might just absolutely flop and just like lose every trade because this feels like it's going too well. And yeah, I guess I just need to change it so it's like more realistic. I also just wanted to comment on the fact that I feel like I'm running out of things to like revise. I feel like I've back tested everything. I mean, not everything, but like I've back tested quite a lot, and I feel like there's no point in me consuming too much more information, or I'm just going to overcomplicate things and make things just way more difficult for myself when it's like already going well. So I think the next step really is to just open up a live account. So I might do that next week or the week after, but I'll probably do it the week after next, because I just want one more like positive week where I can like start to trust myself a little bit more. But yeah, I also just want to talk about a comment that I got. Yeah, that's right, I'm big time now. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I just want to say this channel is like mainly for documentation, and I also think it'd be sick for people to come back on like once I am profitable and just kind of see how I got there. But yeah, this guy said he's using the same strategy as me, and he's also on a demo, and he struggles with over trading. Obviously I'm not saying you should take any advice from me, because I'm also on a demo. I also ain't saying I'm profitable, but like one way that I've kind of dealt with that, such as today, so I've got a trading plan that tells me I can only take a maximum of 3 trades a day. So today, after my third one, so I took the break even one, then the win, then the loss, that kind of rubbed me wrong, and I thought like, wow, I just won and then just lost it all. But I decided to stick to my trading plan and not take another trade for the day, and that will really stop you from over trading if you can just stick to that. So I'd recommend just like trying to stick to just 2 or 3 trades a day. Usually I like to take 2, but days like today I took 3, and maybe it was a mistake because the third one ended up losing. And then he also mentioned that he struggles with market structure, like I had that week. I feel like I've improved a little bit in that. One thing I can recommend is using the line chart, because you can actually kind of see minor and major areas. But yeah, breaks of structure are just so useful to be able to tell whether a setup is good or not. Like for example, this one, there's a very minor break of structure, to be fair. So it's a little bit of confluence, but it's a nice reason to take this trade. But yeah, this is actually a nice way to be able to look at breaks of structure. I'd recommend just like looking at this if you ever like struggle with it, but obviously I'm still learning too. I'm far from perfect from knowing it myself, to be honest. Sometimes I still get confused on it. But yeah, I mean, shit, if I get any more comments, I'll try and reply to them at least, and then maybe do something like this. But yeah, that's just actually like, if I get another comment, I'm fucking surprised I even got one. So yeah, shout out to that guy, and I'll see you next week.